Hello, I'm Nitin Dahad and I'm here with Jasmin Asi and Benjamin Blume of Samsung Electro-Mechanics. Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So we're going to talk a little bit about Samsung Electro-Mechanics' relationship with Arrow. Jasmin and Benjamin, okay, I'll put this first one to you, Jasmin. What's the relationship between Samsung Electro-Mechanics and Arrow, and what's so special about the relationship?
Yeah, we have quite a long relationship with Arrow, so more than 10 years. So this is quite, you know each other, you know what is the strategy, so you go in the same direction. So for example, just mentioned that we here want to focus more on automotive and in the industrial. So we're thinking the same way, and we know that we can rely on each other. So that means also when it comes to crisis, what we had the last year, you know, with the pandemic, then the war. So we support each other. And this is like not just a supplier-customer, it's like a partnership. And this is very special, I would say. So we're going in the same direction, and we're having more the partnership in focus.
Is it possible for you to say what that partnership entails? What you work with customers together?
Yeah, for example, and we're having quite a regular meeting so that we can constantly have the communication to talk also openly on what is working not so well. So this is not always the case, and this is what we have with Arrow at the end. So the communication and focus on the customer visits as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And let's go to a product. What's the benefit for customers if they use multi-layer capacitors from Samsung Electro-Mechanics?
Yeah, we have extensive development in Korea, and since more than 10 years we also investigated the market on reliability requirements. So we, for example, developed the copper epoxy termination, which is different from the market, which is using silver epoxy. And also in other areas, especially automotive, for ESD protection items, we developed a special lineup for ESD protection to enable smaller designs for the customers. So this is one area where we are looking at.
And is there anything else that you think is special about the MLCCs from Samsung Electro-Mechanics compared to others?
Yeah, so for example, for these copper epoxies that I mentioned, it's fully in-house, so I think we can do the same or even better reliability products with integrated and then more cost-efficient products. So for example, when you compare copper and silver, copper for sure is the cheaper material, but also because we do it in our house and the total process, this gives several advantages.
And tell me a little bit of background. What was the reason you developed these technologies?
So actually it's a market request. We have already since more than 10 years automotive customers, and also before we have been using silver epoxy, for example, in the market, and we recognized that many failures, complaints from the customers are actually not driven by our components, but by failures in the manufacturing process. So we figured out when we apply our own copper epoxy material on all our automotive products, we can solve also our customer issues. And additionally for the ESD, for example, it's also driven by the market. So there was a specific customer needing a downsizing product, and this is what we developed to have smaller case size, 0603 instead of 0805 in this case. And enable him to continue his way to downsize an automotive area.
Okay. I mean, you've already talked about some of the features, but are there any other key features that you want to highlight of the products?
I think what we could achieve, especially with copper epoxy material, there is no silver migration, obviously, because there's no silver involved anymore. And that was, for a long period, some issue in the market. So now the silver is gone, so this is really an advantage our customers can use. And with the ESD, I think I mentioned it already, so this is for ESD protection on the, especially on the connector side of the circuit. And here you can have smaller distance of the pins and so on with smaller MLCC used.
Now, do you have some examples of projects you've worked on with Arrow? I know we've got something here, so tell us a little bit about this and any others.
Exactly. So I mean, as I mentioned, we are focusing automotive, I mean, bike is not necessarily graded as automotive as our customers, but nevertheless also they have really target to downsize because of the big battery package. You need to shrink the other components, and here you have really advantages on these products.
Any other examples of projects you've worked on with Arrow that might be of
we
interest to
are
our
also very
viewers?
much in the energy market, EVs, charging systems, and so on. This is also one of our focus markets. We see inverters for EVs as well. That's in high voltage area. We also will have new products coming next year and continuously increasing our lineup.
And that's quite a big market now.
It's, I think all the forecasts from the past are actually overachieved nowadays.
That's impressive. I think I'm hearing that from a lot of people. Tell me, both of you maybe, Jasmin and Benjamin, what are your targets for the European market, maybe over the next 2-5 years? Tell me a little bit.
So the focus is very strong on automotive. I think this is also very similar to Aero. And so where we coming from? So we started the automotive MLCC business 10 years ago, and we really have to say we increased our business there quite a lot. And our target is also to become, like we have it for general MLCCs, we are number 2 on the worldwide market. So this is also the target what we have for automotive, and we expect that we're going to achieve this within the next 2-3 years to become also on the same position. So because we had this very huge increase, and our competitors started a long time before us, but we're quite positive in
Very good.
having this target.
Jasmin and Benjamin, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.